Hello, my name's Mel, welcome to my world, and for those of you that are new to my channel, it's all about self-built camper vans and camper van related stuff. So if that's something that interests you, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. Now today's Wednesday, so this is Waffle on a Wednesday, where I answer your questions to the best of my ability. And this week I've got a rather mixed bag of questions, some really serious, some not so serious, and some damn right silly. But first of all, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to everyone for all your happy birthday wishes. Now, a lot of people, for some strange reason, have been asking me if I've managed to get any fuel for my van this week. Fuel crisis. What fuel crisis? I went out yesterday, got diesel for my van, no problem. None of the petrol stations around here are closed. There are no queues. I really do think it's just the media creating mass hysteria. So everyone's going out panic buying petrol, and sure, the garages are going to run out of petrol if everyone's doing that, but eventually everyone will have a full fuel tank, and I think the panic will be over. Now, Anne Headley asked a really good question. Please could you put up a link for those self-adhesive fixings that hold the solar panel cables to the roof of Rebecca's van? I can't seem to find them anywhere. And that's from Anne Headley. Well, Anne, I had exactly the same problem. I couldn't find those adhesive fixings anywhere either. But when I did find them, finally, on Amazon, I put them in my Amazon storefront. And if you want to visit my Amazon storefront, it's quite simple. Just click on that little V. If you're watching on a mobile phone, there'll be a V down here, and it'll bring down another drop-down menu. You'll see the Amazon storefront highlighted in blue. If you click on that, it will take you to my Amazon storefront, and in there you will see under the electrical section those little clips. I hope that helps you out. Now, it doesn't cost you any extra to use my Amazon storefront, but I do get a little tiny bit of commission for my trouble of putting everything in one place for your convenience. So I hope that helps you out. Don't forget to check out my new merch. I had a lot of comments on last Sunday's video concerning my awning and my awning rail, the height of it. A lot of people said, why don't I simply raise the height of the awning rail, thus raising the height of the awning, giving me more clearance for my door so that the door doesn't snag the awning rail bag. The fact is that the awning rail is fitted as high up on my van as I possibly can without having to modify the unistrut by putting brackets in and stuff, and I don't really want to put brackets and stuff, and I don't want to make the awning higher, because when you're driving through the countryside you'll get a low canopy of trees, and I've heard stories of people actually losing their awnings because they've been fouled up by a branch of some sort. So that's why I'll try to keep it as low profile as possible. But the downside is, of course, as you saw in that video, the awning bag catches the door. But yeah, if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it at the end of this video. Now, Steve Kovaz commented on a video that I made about the outside laundrettes. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to that video up here. He says, great video, Mel. Perhaps you could make a similar video of where to find showers, etc. for those with no showers in their van. But yes, Steve, honestly, it's no big deal not having a shower in your van. It really is simple to stay clean. Although saying that, I do have a shower on my back doors, so when my back doors are open, I can have a shower out the back. And in the 2 years I've been using this van, I've had this van, I've used those back door showers about 5 or 6 times. And the most recently I used them in Cornwall, but also whilst in Cornwall I happened to find a shower that was outside a hotel. It had an outside shower for people that have been on the beach. They would shower before going back into the hotel, and I cheekily used their showers, and it was no drama at all. You'd be amazed at the different places you will find showers. There are truck stops, there are gyms, all them places, and if you really do get desperate, just go to any campsite, rock up and say to them, can I pay a small fee to use your showers? And most of them will let you actually just use their showers. They are very accommodating. So yeah, not having a shower in a van is no big deal, but I will make a video all the same, just for those of you that still aren't convinced. Now here's a question that does come up quite often, and this is from Graham Yale. Hi Mel, did you manage to get your van re-registered as a camper van? Great channel. Well, thank you, Graham, that's very kind of you. Now Graham, I didn't register my van as a camper van. I did try, but unfortunately the DVLA sent my logbook back, and my van is now registered as a van with windows. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not going to retry either. I'm not going to try again to re-register my van as a camper, for the simple reason that everywhere I went in Cornwall, well most of the places I went in Cornwall just recently, all the car parks had signs up saying no camper vans. One car park in Newquay even had a sign saying strictly no camper vans after midnight. Between midnight and 4 o'clock, no camper vans. Didn't say anything about vans with windows or cars. Cars were allowed to park there all night. And the car park that I actually ended up staying in for a couple of nights had a similar kind of sign, but it said no overnight camping. But you could pay for a 24-hour parking ticket. So I thought I'll risk it, I'll park there for a couple of nights and see what happens. We didn't actually get a parking ticket, even though a motorhome that was parked right opposite us, one morning they woke up with a parking ticket on their windscreen. We didn't have any parking ticket. So it makes me kind of wonder if traffic wardens on their little machine, if they can type in your registration number and see whether or not your vehicle is registered as a motorhome or a van with windows, and whether that makes any difference. I really don't know, so don't quote me on that, but for me personally, I think I'm going to stick with keeping my van as a van with windows. That way it kind of gives you a bit more freedom on where you can park. I'm not 100% sure if that works or not, and please don't have a go at me if you do end up with a parking ticket. Ian Smile asked a question which is completely unrelated to van life. It's to do with metal detecting in Cyprus. Now, metal detecting in Cyprus is completely illegal. You get, I think at the time it was €30,000 fine or 3 years in prison if you take a metal detector to Cyprus without a license. So Ian asks, do you need a Cypriot address? How much does the license cost? Well, the license is absolutely free, but I do believe you need a Cypriot address. And when I got my license, I did have access to a Cypriot address. I had a friend living there. Unfortunately, I've lost touch with that friend. So this coming year, next year, I think my license runs out. I'm going to have to physically go to Cyprus to renew my license. So yeah, if you're into metal detecting, don't go to Cyprus with one without a license. Mel, what do you think about a Propex heater for a van? And that comes from John. John, I think a Propex heater would be absolutely brilliant. After all, those diesel heaters, you get that horrible ticking diesel pump. You get that clunk, clunk, clunk all night long if you try and run it all night. Now, although they are quite expensive, they're about 500 quid, I do believe, but like I say, they do run on LPG, so that makes them pretty silent, I think. I mean, you still get the sound of the fan and everything going, but it's got to be a lot better than a diesel heater. But the downside is I do think you need to get it fitted professionally. It's not, I don't think it's as much of a DIY job fitting a Propex heater because of the LPG side of things, but I am definitely 100% going to look into getting one. I'm going to do a bit of research and yeah, I may fit one to my van despite them being about 500 quid, purely for the silent night's sleep. So yeah, stay tuned because I may just get one, but I'm definitely going to be doing some research into Propex heaters very soon, funds permitting. Ian Hopkins asked a question about my Ring DC to DC charge controller. He says, hi Mel, does this charger need an ignition signal to function? No Ian, it doesn't. The Ring DC to DC charge controller works by sensing voltage. So as soon as you start your car up, or your van I should say, as soon as you start your van up, the alternator starts spinning, the voltage from your engine battery then goes up. The Ring DC to DC charger will sense that higher voltage and start charging your leisure batteries. That's if you've got it set on alternator priority and not solar priority. If like me, if you have it on solar panel priority, it won't use your alternator to charge your batteries on a sunny day. It will continue to use your solar panels. And that's the one thing I like about it, because it does kind of save you a little bit of fuel on a sunny day. I mean, why use your alternator to charge your battery when you've got solar panels on your roof? Now, I am blessed with a really good fan base, and I love all you guys so much for all your positive energy that you give me, but every now and again I do get a negative comment. which isn't too bad, I suppose, because you often hear a lot of YouTubers complaining about trolls and stuff, and I'm blessed I don't get that many. But nevertheless, I'm going to start a new feature on my Waffle on a Wednesday, and I'm going to call it Troll of the Week. And this week's award goes to Philip Ashley. Now, Philip Ashley left a comment on my full transit ignition video. I made a video about full transits and the trouble you have with the ignition barrels, and this video saved loads of people a lot of money, and I'm quite proud of that video, and I get a lot of positive comments from that video. But nevertheless, Philip Ashley thought it would be a good idea to leave a negative comment. Only a short one, but I'll read it out nevertheless. And he says, "Very good. Thank you, Philip, that's very kind of you, but this guy loves the sound of his own voice." Yes, I do, Philip. Thank you very much. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Well, thanks for watching this week's Waffle on Wednesday. If you like it, then please do give me the thumbs up. If you didn't like it, then by all means give me the thumbs down, because after all, it all acts and counteracts towards interaction, which is good for the YouTube algorithm. So thank you for all those people that give my video a thumbs down, because it all helps. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Ta-ra for now.